Can you open this piece? There you go. I was like, oh, should I look around more? And I was like, nope.
Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
Oh, I am Prego. Hi, baby. Well, this is a nice view outside the window. Can I have that kind of view? Can I get in here? It's so pretty. It's so cute. Shush. You have a spinning chair. It's what I do.
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
What is this? Oh, I saw Gregory wasn't a baby. Oh, he was a baby. He was a baby.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
Ribbit. 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 Excuse you?
Bartend over, Gregory. It's time to... Hold on, sweetie.
Don't leave your child in the bathtub.
Hello? Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
I wonder what he saw.
Am I supposed to pop these?
What his world was like.
Never mind.
He reminded me so much of Calvin. Lost in his imagination.
Ha.
Whatever it was he saw.
Where did those come from? Is that Woody? Kind of reminds me of Woody. Come on, whale, join me. Join me. I can't do this. How do you get the whale? Like how? Just
You were on the right track.
I know, but Becky, help. Am I supposed to use these creatures to help me? These people. Many people. I don't want to do that. Hey, baby, just reach up and grab it, because that'd be easier. I'm at heavy things because I can't figure it out.
Well, one thing you keep doing is you go to the center like you're supposed to, and you dive down, but then you go over there into the corner away from the buttons. There you go.
It sure
Thank
made him
you.
happy.
What else? Is there more? Well, I think you're a little stuck there. I'll push you. There. Wait a minute, what else is there? Oh, jeez. Okay.
I know how silly it sounds. That I worried about a baby being too happy. But I could feel him slipping away.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
But
I know you
Mom!
did everything you could.
But Mom!
Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it. Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear.
I wish he could have told us about the world he saw. There's so much I don't understand.
Oh,
About
what?
Gregory.
Oh.
About everything.
Hi.
But I know what happened wasn't your fault. I'm sure he's happy. He'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay.
He drowned.
Love, Sam.
I'm good crying. But baby.
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet...
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, we don't need a stepmom were the words that I
now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
I mean, I kind of like right too. jeez. Hi, Uncle.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger.
Oh, jeez. Kid.
The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent. The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made.
This is a very powerful fight.
The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder."
Dad, you got issues. Okay.
I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you.
Okay. Thanks.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
That's great.
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get.
Oh, this is cool. Can I have a room like this? Aww.
She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
So her mom's name is Dawn?
Mm-hmm.
So that was her mom that shot the deer then.
Mm-hmm.
Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died.
Is there a way to keep going up, or is it? Oh. You're just perfect. I think that was just perfect.
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Louis was born a year later.
That was fast.
When
Jeez.
my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go.
Oh.
I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back.
Hmm. Girl, you need to take care of your plants. They all gone.
The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal, but it didn't last. The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
I can't read that. How rude of you. Keep me away from knowledge. Oh, swear. Ooh. Is this Milton's room? Because that's an awesome room.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
So he just disappeared?
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
Well, at least that one's not as tragic as the others. I feel a little bit better about it. Not much, but a little bit.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors.
Kind of get her, Mom. That's
Whatever
so
Milton had
sad.
found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out. Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
Shears are awesome.
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
He was definitely doing drugs.
He was so proud of being
Finally, someone that
I
actually
think
did
for
drugs.
him, it was a way to be something other than just a Finch.
Are you condoning drugs, Merf?
No. I'm just felt like condoning my sentence that somebody did drugs.
Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together,
Yeah,
but he was
boy.
surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
I know the feeling. Definitely know the feeling.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander. I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth.
This
He'd
is
feel his way
trippy.
about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads. things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend.
Fish. Thank you.
On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever.
Yeah, all you have to
And
do
one
is
day it
just, like,
struck him
where's the next question?
that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis, until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on. In Lewisburg, he heard rumors of a
Turn around. Turn around. Turn around.
handsome queen.
Sure. Ooh.
The queen was on her own quest for
Radiant rainbows. No. Legal business.
sinister serpents.
brain does not work this way.
He followed the sound of her. Silver harp. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound.
What?
He knew the world was all in his imagination.
Lady, wait for me. I'm being double-minded
But he
here.
was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace.
I mean, trying to climb the golden steps of palace. It's not
My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
Are we, okay. I'm so confused. And I get it, but I'm not fucking this.
Began to forget the world we know.
I mean, that's not right. Ew, gross. Ew.
I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker.
So must be a candy.
He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
Ew. Buster!
I still
made a
thought I
better
could
place.
save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on advising him.
Oh, hi, Molly. What's up, girl? Lexi, your cat. Instead of a shark.
His queen waited, holding his crown.
How about just turn back? I turn back
There's only
now.
one thing left to do.
That's not a sound. Lewis,
Bend down his head.
can you wake up now? Lewis.
And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
sure? Are you sure about that, girl? Okay.